Welcome back. Whether you are tuning in on your favorite podcast platform or watching me here on YouTube, I'm Jasmine, and today we're talking about a topic that affects so many women: autoimmune conditions, and most importantly, how we can start healing from them holistically. So, did you know that 80% of autoimmune conditions in the US affect women? That's around 23.5 million Americans. If you are one of them or you know someone who is, today's episode is for you. We'll be diving into 3 key areas that can make a huge difference in your healing: nutrition, gut health, and a major, often overlooked factor, environmental toxins. I'm going to break it all down for you, so whether you're watching or listening, grab your coffee. I got mine right here, and let's get into it. So, starting with nutrition, you've probably heard that saying, you are what you eat. Well, when it comes to autoimmunity, what you eat can either inflame your immune system or it can help soothe it. So, on my own healing journey from autoimmune conditions, the first place I started was with my nutrition. I really kept it simple, but I did remove a lot of common triggers such as gluten, dairy, artificial sweeteners and sugar, and ultra processed foods. With these very restrictive diets, it is super important to understand that this is short term. You don't have to be on this for the rest of your life. There may be some things such as like dairy. For example, for me, I don't do well with dairy. I just know that automatically. I don't feel good. I feel super congested. I break out. And so dairy is really not my favorite thing to introduce into my diet unless it's like ghee or grass-fed butter. I can handle that okay, but any type of milk products, dairy products, I can't do it, okay? And as you go through your healing journey, you will learn what works best for you. So sometimes you do have to stay off certain things just because it makes you feel better, right? You just feel good in your body. However, when you are just starting out on your healing journey, it is super important to stay on a restrictive diet for a short period of time. I always say around 30 days to really just kickstart your healing and of course to just reduce inflammation in the body. So what I like to really focus on is more of a paleo-based diet, especially when it comes to autoimmunity. So this is also known as like the autoimmune protocol diet or the AIP diet. So it really just focuses on nutrient-dense foods that reduce inflammation while eliminating common triggers like gluten, dairy, sugar, and ultra-processed foods. So what should you even be eating? What should be on your plate? So think grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish, organic vegetables if possible, especially dark leafy greens, some veggies such as the Brussels sprouts. Those are really, really good. Broccoli, those are super great for reducing inflammation. When it comes to vegetables too, it is super important to making sure you're actually baking or cooking your vegetables. You don't want to eat raw vegetables just because I have seen that be really rough on the gut, especially for clients. So I like to avoid any type of raw vegetables. Even just boiling them or steaming your vegetables is super important because it's going to help you digest your food properly. Next is going to be healing fats. So like avocado, extra virgin olive oil. I really like to stick with those. You also want to, bring in like chia seeds. You can also bring in flax seeds, like different healing fats. So we really want to avoid the canola oil, the vegetable oil, the soybean oil, cottonseed oil. All those processed, ultra processed oils are really inflammatory to the body. So it is important to stick to avocado, olive oil. You don't want to cook your olive oil, butter, all the good things, right? And don't forget to add some bone broth. So most people do really well with bone broth. It's packed with just gut healing nutrients. It's an easy way to increase your protein intake, and it's super soothing to your gut and just your digestive system because it's warming. It's also super beneficial for people who have autoimmune conditions just because when you have an autoimmune conditions, you can be dealing with a lot of symptoms. You can be dealing with gut issues. You can be dealing with acne. You can be dealing with pain, inflammation, just full body inflammation. And bone broth really helps you because it's already broken down, right? It's already a liquid, so it's really easy to get down. It's also, again, going to be packed with those gut healing nutrients. If you are sensitive to bone broth, like you drink bone broth and you have to run to the restroom because your stomach just didn't sit well, or if you get super itchy or you have like allergies when it comes to drinking bone broth, this can mean that you are sensitive to histamine, okay? So it is super important to, instead of doing bone broth, you want to do stock. So like chicken stock, beef stock. That is going to really help with the histamine response. I know removing foods like gluten and dairy can be tough. Trust me, I know it's in everything. And as you go through this healing journey, when you start learning how to read your ingredients label, you're going to realize that just by removing gluten and dairy from your diet really removes almost all ultra processed foods. But focusing on what you can eat and how much better you feel with removing these certain foods and really introducing more nutrient-dense foods, it just makes it worth it. It really does. Next, we're going to be talking about gut health. Did you know around 70% of your immune system is in your gut? If your gut is unhealthy, which most of us, our guts are just compromised, your immune system gets confused, which can contribute to autoimmune flares. So many women with autoimmune conditions also have what's called leaky gut. So this is where the lining of your gut becomes compromised. When undigested food particles and toxins leak into your bloodstream, this tells your immune system that it needs to activate and needs to go and protect you. So it responds with inflammation, making your autoimmune symptoms even worse. So this is very similar to if you have an autoimmune flare, all your symptoms increase dramatically, right? Sometimes you're stuck in bed for a couple days to a couple weeks. Sometimes you even have to go to the hospital because, it's a really bad autoimmune flare. This is where gut health comes in, because we have to really heal the gut in order to reduce your immune response, to reduce your immune system from responding to, toxins and the inflammation and all the things, right? Your body's trying to protect you, but with autoimmune conditions, your body and your immune system is in overdrive. So every little thing that you are exposed to, it can trigger autoimmune symptoms. So it's really important to healing your gut. So focus on gut healing foods like aloe vera juice. Love aloe vera juice. That's like my top go-to. Prebiotic and probiotic rich foods to really just reestablish that good bacteria. So I know everyone's like, hey, I just want to take a probiotic. I'm not a huge fan of probiotics. I'm really not. It really depends on why you need the probiotic, right? So there are certain situations, like if you just got off antibiotics, or if, you just had, problems with like UTIs reoccurring, there is a time and place for probiotics, but I often don't see them being helpful. It can actually cause bad than good. So this is why I like to just focus on prebiotic rich foods and probiotic rich foods. So probiotic rich foods are going to be like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, what other one? Yogurt, really helpful for just reintroducing new bacteria into your gut. Prebiotic rich foods basically feed your good bacteria. So this is like onions, garlic, asparagus. Those are all rich in prebiotics. Reducing stress is also crucial, since stress can really mess up your gut. It's also super important to introduce some targeted supplementation. Of course, like I said, I really like to test before just guessing on what's going on. So this is where functional lab testing comes in. So if this is something you guys are interested in, make sure you guys book a free call. We can chat through to see if functional lab testing would actually be helpful in your situation. But other than that, really healing your gut is key. It's really important for so many different health issues. It really improves your mood, it improves your skin health, it improves honestly everything in your body. Whatever you're dealing with, you probably just need some gut health support. So one thing I use in my practice is functional lab testing. So like the complete root cause lab panel. So this is a functional blood work panel that helps pinpoint root causes behind the autoimmunity. And the GI map, which helps pinpoint gut imbalances like bacterial overgrowths, parasites, fungal infections, these hidden causes that can really trigger autoimmune flares. So with the right data, we can create personalized healing protocols for you specifically, because bioindividuality is something that we are always preaching here, and it's so important This is a completely different approach than your conventional medical doctor. They are really just, given a list of blood markers, you run them. If it comes back abnormal, then you get a standard protocol, which is usually a pill. So we really dig a little bit deeper. We want to figure out the root causes behind your autoimmune flares, and then we start creating out that personalized protocol that is based off of your unique data. Now let's talk about something that often flies under the radar: environmental toxins. We are surrounded by toxins, plastics, heavy metals, pesticides, and they're wreaking havoc on our immune system. Women especially are more vulnerable to toxin exposures, which can trigger autoimmune flares. So the most important step when it comes to environmental toxins is reducing your toxin burden, and this is really the key to healing. So start by switching to non-toxic household and personal care products. This does take time. I don't expect you to throw away all your stuff that you have right now in your cabinet, but I really want you to be aware that once something runs out, when you're low on a certain, household product, you want to be looking for a non-toxic product to swap that out. So that's the easiest way I like to explain to clients is it can be super overwhelming when you first learn about environmental toxins and you start reading your ingredients labels and you're like, oh my God, everything in my house is toxic. I don't want you to fear toxins, okay? I want you to be empowered. I want you to be aware that these toxic ingredients can be hidden in your products. And it's just important to be aware once they run out, once you're done, they're empty, that's when you can bring in non-toxic products. So go one at a time, or if you want to do a complete overhaul, you can do a complete overhaul too. I'm not stopping you. Number 2, you want to filter your drinking water. So many people, they're like, hey, I'm filtering my water, but I see their lab work and I'm like, hey, you are still popping up with lots of different toxins, a lot of environmental toxins. So we need to check your water. What type of water are you drinking? Some of them say, I'm just drinking the water from my fridge. It's filtered. Yeah, okay. It's not filtered as much as we want it to be, but at least it's filtered. We also go to Costco to get our refillable waters. So we order Mountain Valley spring water. I absolutely love spring water. It has natural minerals inside. I do, on top of that, add my Body Bio E-Lite just to give more electrolytes, more minerals, because our bodies thrive on it. I also really like reverse osmosis water, but make sure you're adding back some type of electrolytes to your water. And then lastly, you can always, there's so many different options nowadays for drinking water. Let's keep it simple. Spring water or reverse osmosis water, that's it. Number 3, choosing organic produce when possible to avoid pesticides. So organic produce does contain pesticides. However, it has a lot less of pesticides than non-organic produce. So if possible, when possible, buy organic. It is so important. There's been studies done where people, go organic for 7 days and their toxin levels reduce so much just by switching over to organic produce. Again, if you cannot buy organic produce, you can always rinse off your fruits and vegetables. I like to do a mixture of either filtered water with baking soda, just a scoop of it inside of there, wash, and then drain, wash again. Or you can do water and vinegar, just a teaspoon of vinegar or a cup of vinegar, however much you want to use. That really helps reduce the pesticides that are on your fruits and vegetables. So every small change can really make a huge difference in your overall exposure to toxins and really help your body heal. You also want to support your body's natural detox pathways by drinking plenty of water, eating liver-supporting foods like leafy greens, beets. Not a huge fan of beets, but it actually does amazing for the liver. And then also incorporating practices like dry brushing or using binders to help your body eliminate toxins. So I always talk about drainage pathways, and this is basically your natural detoxification system. So it really focuses on, number 1, making sure you're using the restroom 1 to 2 times a day. Number 2, supporting your liver, making sure you're breaking down your food properly. And on top of that, removing toxins from the body. Number 3 is your lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is like a river. This is where all your toxins, all the waste move through your body. So if you feel super inflamed or like you are retaining a lot of water, dry brushing will be amazing for you to get that lymphatic system moving. Even just exercising, moving your body, sweating is going to get your lymphatic system moving. And then lastly, we really want to support your mitochondria. So by reducing your overall toxin burden, that's actually going to help your mitochondria. It's actually going to help your cells produce more energy. In return, it's going to help your detoxification system even more. Let's pull it all together. Healing autoimmune conditions holistically means number 1, nourishing your body with anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense foods. Number 2, healing your gut to restore immune balance. Number 3 is reducing your toxin load so your body can recover and thrive. It's not about quick fixes, but sustainable long-term changes. Healing takes time, but I promise every small step you take is a step towards reclaiming back your health. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, know that you don't have to do this all alone. Working with a functional medicine practitioner can help you identify your root causes and guide you through a personalized healing journey. So this is something that we love so much, and we are so passionate about helping women take back control of their health. That's all for today's episode. I hope you found these tips helpful and empowering. Remember, you are not defined by your diagnosis. You have the power to heal, and it starts with the small changes you make every single day. If you enjoyed this video or podcast, please hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support means the world to me. So thanks again for watching and listening.